Hello everyone and welcome to Medicated Housewife DIY, where crafting and mental health come together. My name is Sarah. In today's DIY video, we are making this brilliant decorative Dollar Tree riser using Dollar Tree bamboo hoops. This is a truly unique use of these bamboo hoops or rings and a super modern, sleek, and high-end decor DIY that you're gonna love. Simple, easy, and quick with a big impact. So stick around and let's go make some stuff and jump right into this. To begin with, I'm using these bamboo rings that you can get at Dollar Tree in packs of 2. There's a larger and a smaller ring in the pack. We are only using the larger one. It's 7.8 inches in diameter, and full disclosure, my Dollar Tree did not have as many as I needed, so I ended up getting a pack of 10 bamboo rings, the exact same size and quality of the Dollar Tree ones at Amazon. I will link them for you in the description box below. Seriously, they're exactly the same. You really can't tell the difference between the two. Now, I attempted to find the exact middle on each side of each ring because I wanted to cut them in half and I wanted 2 even sides. But as you can see, sometimes I'm just not the brightest crayon in the box, and I seem to do a lot of things the hard way. So initially I measured, and then I used a piece of tape, and in the end I just eyeballed it and I cut them in the middle on each side, and then compared the sides together, marked the longer pieces with a pencil, and I trimmed them accordingly so that I wanted all of my halves to be the same size. I used my favorite pair of clippers to cut them, and I will link that for you below, but you could also use a very strong pair of scissors too. Now, the finished project only needs 5 rings total. It's 9 half rings, so that's 5 rings that are needed. However, I cut several more than that because, truth be told, I wasn't exactly sure where I was going with this project. I had a vague idea, the look that I wanted, but I was not at all sure just how I was going to get there. This was a true adventure for me, and I am taking you along for the ride. But just know, in the end, you need to use a total of 5 whole rings. The first attempt, and yes, I'm calling it an attempt because I end up taking the whole thing apart and redoing it. But for the sake of honesty, I really want you to see everything. I wasn't going to hide my mistakes from you. And like I said, you're along for the ride. So you're along for the whole ride. Wrong turns and all. So let's just keep going. For this first attempt, and remember, this is just an attempt. This is not the final project. I thought that I wanted each half ring to line up in the middle with one half ring pointed downward, and then the next one would point upward, alternating one after the other. So at first I clipped several of the pieces together, and I used a pencil to mark the middle on every half ring so that when they were alternating glued together, they would end up straight and in line. I'm using Titebond Quick and Thick wood glue, and I'll link that for you below. And as I said before, I point one of the half rings downward and then the next half ring upward, and I'm going to glue them to each other side to side, as you can see me do right here. And I used these small clips from Dollar Tree to hold the 2 pieces in place together while they dried, and I did 2 pieces together on all of those half rings and then waited for those pieces to dry before I tried to go any further. Once those pieces were dry, I took a 2-piece set and I glued it the same way, alternating directions up and down with the half circles, onto another 2-piece set, and I used a bigger plastic clip to try to hold the 4 half rings together while they dried. And I did that a second time, and on the other set of rings I added an additional single set that I had, the extra one, onto it so that there were 6 half rings in that set. And I used a couple of clips to try to help hold that one in place while those pieces all dried. Once the pieces are dry, I then attach them all to each other, alternating them up and down. And because I felt it needed more stability, I took a regular small little craft stick, glued that across all the pieces. In fact, I ended up using 3 craft sticks to hold all of that together. I just figured the craft stick side would be the bottom of the project. And yes, this is really starting to resemble a rickety rib cage. I know, but that's part of the reason why this first project gets torn apart in the end. Again, I'm showing you all the do's and the don'ts. So I glued the craft sticks on for support, and then I waited for the whole thing to dry. Once my very rib cage looking base was dry, I didn't want to leave it unfinished, but I also thought it would look best with more of a natural wood tone to it. So I took some of my folk art home decor antique wax, I will link that for you below, and I mixed it with plain water just to make a thin stain. I painted that onto the project, making sure to get all the nooks and crannies, and then I set that aside to fully dry. In the meantime, I had to make the top or the tray part of my riser. To do that, I'm using the small canvas from Dollar Tree, which I tear all of the canvas part off of it, and it's definitely not the neatest, most tidy way to do that, but I got all the canvas off, which left me with this rectangular wood frame, which will be the base of the riser top. Then I grabbed these jumbo wood craft sticks, or paint stir sticks as they're also called, and I got these at Home Depot. I know you can find them at Hobby Lobby or Walmart too. I needed 8 of the craft sticks to go across the canvas frame for our riser, but first I had to cut them to size to fit across the frame and also cut the rounded ends off of them, and I used my clippers to cut them to size. Then I used the quick and thick wood glue to glue them over that really ugly staple side of the frame, and then I let that completely dry. I wanted my riser top to be the same color as the bottom, so using that same mixture of folk art antique wax and water, I paint the craft sticks and the canvas frame, and I also take out 5 more craft sticks that I'm going to use to make sort of a lip or a frame around the craft stick edges. I paint those sticks the same color too. Then I make the frame for the riser top, and I'm using the craft sticks to frame it, but I'm framing this kind of upside down, and the bottom of the riser top is facing upwards, and the lip of the frame will be hanging down from the top of the riser. That all sounds really complicated, but it is not, and you will see what I mean after I attach it together. So I start with gluing the short sides of the frame with my wood glue, but what I quickly realized is that my frame pieces were starting to angle inward instead of just standing straight up. So I took a couple of small bits of craft stick and I used that sort of like a shim in between my riser frame, the canvas frame, and the frame piece that I'm making out of craft stick. So the space that this made helped the frame pieces to stand straighter and not to angle inward. And I used those shims on all the sides, all 4 sides of the frame. Since the long sides of the riser are too long to be framed by 1 craft stick, because the craft stick length is shorter than the side of my canvas frame, I had to use pieces of another craft stick to fill in those empty spaces, the ones that are left on the long sides, in order to cover and frame all 4 sides of the riser completely. So I just cut pieces out of a craft stick and glued them on right next to the rest of that craft stick frame piece. Now, I told you I ended up scrapping that whole first riser base from earlier that I showed you. So after literally ripping off all those support popsicle sticks and tearing the pairs of half rings apart, I also sanded off the leftover glue that was on them on all the half rings, and I touched up the antique wax stain, and then I started fresh with them. I plotted out the design I was going to do for my riser base, and I decided to take 2 half rings, one facing up, one facing down, but this time I was going to fully overlap them. I needed to try and line up all the half rings so that they would all intersect at the same 2 spots when they're overlapped, and all the other half rings as well in the same 2 spots, if that makes any sense. I did my best to mark the 2 spots with some washi tape on the first half ring, and then use that as a template to mark off the same 2 spots on all of the bamboo half rings so that they all intersected in the same place. I used the washi tape to mark them first, and then I ended up just using a pencil to place 2 small marks on each piece of bamboo ring so that I know the exact place that they need to overlap and where to attach them. You can see here that I've placed one on top of the other overlapped so that the marks I placed on them are lined up with each other, and I use my wood glue. I put a small amount on the sides in the exact spot where those markings are. Then I take my second half ring and spin it in the opposite direction and line it up with the glue on the first half ring. I end up using some spare Jenga blocks under the second half ring to hold it up in place as it dries, and I glue the rest of the half rings in pairs this exact same way, and then I'm going to leave them for several hours for all of that glue to set. Once the glue has set, then I take 2 of my 4 sets of rings and I'm going to line them up at those same markings, and I'm going to glue them together at the exact same point as where the pairs of 2 were attached. I lay them on their side to do this, and I place some Jenga blocks on the sides and then in the middle to support and to hold up that second pair of half rings until that whole piece gets a chance for the glue to set. Then I repeat that with 2 other pairs of rings and glue those to each other the same way. And I'm placing some Jenga blocks also on the sides and the middle to hold the 2 pairs in place while the glue sets. When those have dried, I then glue those 2 pieces together, again, exactly the same way as we did before with the other pieces, and then I go and make some lovely little towers of Jenga blocks so that I can then place the support blocks between those 2 pieces, and that will hold them in place as they dry. Off camera, I did add 1 single half ring facing downwards to the top of this piece so that both sides begin with a downward facing half ring, and for a total of 9 half rings alternating up and down. And the only thing left to do is to add the riser top to this base to complete our riser. And this is how my Dollar Tree bamboo ring riser turned out. I think this riser is really cool. It is definitely modern, but it's got a beach vibe to it, I think. It's very light and summery, and I personally can't wait to use it to display some beachy candles, or maybe in a spa-like atmosphere. I think that would work really well too. I think it's a much different way of using these bamboo rings than I've ever seen before, but as usual, I want to know what you think. Let me know in the comments how you feel about this Dollar Tree bamboo ring riser. Would you try making this, and where would you put it? I hope you enjoyed this Medicated Housewife DIY, and if you did, please consider hitting the like button and subscribing. It really helps out my channel. Once again, thanks for watching, and until next time, I'm the Medicated Housewife, and crafting is my medication.